Athens, Turkey's president made a landmark visit to Greece on Thursday, but any expectation for diplomacy was quickly deflated by his call for changes to an international treaty that defines the borders between the rivals. The visit by President Recep Tayyip Erdogan was not his first. He had visited Greece twice before as prime minister, but it was the first by a Turkish president in 65 years. With Turkey's relations with Europe and the United States deteriorating, there had been hopes that Mr. Erdogan's visit might portend closer relations with Greece, and greater stability in the region. It had been touted on both sides of the Aegean as being aimed at improving ties. Instead, Mr. Erdogan managed to provoke his hosts even before landing in Athens. In an interview published in the Greek daily Kathimerini on Thursday, he suggested an update of the 1923 Treaty of Lausanne, which defined Turkey's borders with neighboring countries after World War I. He repeated the demand at a tense, televised news conference with his Greek counterpart, President Prokopios Pavlopoulos. There are outstanding issues with the Treaty of Lausanne and matters that have not been addressed correctly, a stony-faced Mr. Erdogan said it should be updated, he added. Mr. Pavlopoulos, clearly uncomfortable, immediately countered that the treaty was non-negotiable. The Greek news media condemned the Turkish leader's stance as provocative and unprecedented. Mr. Erdogan has been raising the issue of the Lausanne Treaty since last year's failed coup, calling it unfair, a public stance that is considered provocative not only toward Greece, but even in Turkey because it questions the very legitimacy of the republic that was established on the foundations of the treaty. He has emphasized the unfairness of the treaty that handed islands close to Turkey's shores to Greece, and raised concerns about the Turkish community in Greece, which is known officially as a Muslim minority rather than as ethnic Turkish. Mr. Erdogan, who appeared to be a liberal pro-European Democrat in his early years as leader, has increasingly adopted a nationalist, neo-Ottoman posture in recent years, presenting himself as a leader who can recreate some of Turkey's lost empire. In a speech last year at the presidential palace, he similarly criticized the treaty and those who negotiated it. "They tried to sell us Lausanne as a victory," he said at that time. "Look now to the Greek islands. We gave away these very near islands. Is it a victory? Those places were ours. Why? Those seated at the table were not up to challenge. Because they could not deliver, now we are having problems." After Mr. Erdogan picked up the theme on Thursday, Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras of Greece told him that he was eager to build bridges, not raise walls, and he underlined the need for respect for international law, treaties, and of the territorial integrity of countries. Mr. Erdogan indicated that border changes were not what he had in mind, declaring that Turkey never covets the territory of another country. But it was hard for the Greeks to interpret Mr.